All right, I know what you're thinking. I do a video like this every year about should you buy a Switch Lite in whatever year it is, but this year it is different. There's a lot of things going on I think we need to talk about with the Switch Lite, and I did end up with another one of these things in my house. This is the, I don't know, 100th Switch Lite we've had here. This one's not mine, it's my youngest daughter's. She wanted one for Christmas, she got one, but you know, I got to unbox this thing again, set it up, take a look at it. So I did want to kind of go back over, you know, what the Switch Lite is about, if it's for you, if you're looking to get a Switch, if that's an option, and possibly some reasons you might want to wait. What's up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a favor, jump down in the description of this video. There are a ton of links down there. The one I really want you to check out, though, is the one to our podcast channel. We record a podcast every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time over on that YouTube channel. If you would like to listen to the podcast, you can also do that on your podcast platform of choice. It's all over there. The link is down below, so check that out. But let's get into this. Let's talk about the Switch Lite. Like I said, I got another one. I got the coral. This is a very nice color. I do like this color. I've had the gray one, we've had the blue one here, I had a yellow one, we had the Pokemon Sword and Shield edition. I think the only one we haven't had in this house is the blue one, and I guess the other Pokemon Special Edition. But we basically had them all. They are very nice versions of the Switch. I really honestly loved my Switch Lite, and the only reason I don't use, well, the OLED is the reason I don't use the Switch Lite now. But before the OLED, if it wasn't for streaming and streaming games, I probably would have stuck with my Switch Lite. I really love the form factor. And if you're somebody who only wants to play handheld, if you only care about just having something to play Nintendo games, Nintendo Switch games, this is gonna do it just like the OLED. It's not gonna look as well. It's gonna do it just like the other Switch. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to take Joy-Cons off. It's one piece. I have a video that goes over all this stuff in way more detail, so I'm not really gonna bore you with all of that. But in my opinion, if you're looking for an answer to that question in this video, yeah, I think the Switch Lite, I think it's still great in 2023. You know, unboxing one, like I said, setting it up, kind of messing around with this one again, trying to help my youngest learn how to play this thing, how to, you know, download games. I do kind of miss this form factor. It's nice, especially when you have something like this, the Grip Case Lite from Skull & Co., which if you do want one of these things, there is a link to Skull & Co. down below as well. There's a discount. These are really nice for the Switch Lite. We ended up getting one of these too, and I mean, it's just this form factor right here, especially with this case on. To me, it's just so comfortable. I love the way the buttons feel. I like the D-pad. The D-pad's nice. Obviously, you're not gonna get that on the regular Switch, but there is one small thing, and it's not really small anymore. I think this is actually valid. I think it's relevant. And I think it's something that we should really honestly think about right now in 2023 before any of us buy a Switch Lite. I honestly think that we have a pretty good chance of seeing a Switch Lite OLED maybe be announced this year. And now, before you go crazy and tell me how nuts I am and how wrong I am, just listen to a few things here. I just want to give you some insight on this and where I'm coming from with this. I think it's possible. I think with the way that we are looking at the Switch and how it's progressed through the years, we had the Switch original, and then, you know, the V2, which was essentially the same thing, so we'll just call that one thing. Then we got the Switch Lite, which took after that Switch. I mean, with the bezels and everything on here, I mean, it basically took after the original Switch. Then we got the OLED, which kind of took away the bezels, kind of redesigned. Now, we know, possibly, that the OLED was actually supposed to be the Pro, but they couldn't get the internals, so they ended up just making this. Now, I think that is actually a pretty good reason why we could actually see a Switch Lite OLED. Now, if you think about that, if you think about the Switch we have now, the OLED, not being the Pro, obviously at this point, we're hearing that they're probably not going to be making a Pro. We're probably gonna have this Switch to go on for probably another 2 years. It's probably gonna be a while before we get another Switch. So, I think at this point, with that time frame that we have before a Switch 2 or whatever comes out next, I think it would be very smart for Nintendo to go ahead and upgrade this, get this on par with the OLED, because once the Switch 2 comes out, this thing in an OLED form would probably be okay for people to still be buying, you know? I think it's something that people would still go towards if they wanted just a handheld, if they weren't worried about, you know, maybe the upgraded specs. Now, obviously, you're probably not gonna be able to get those same games. I would imagine if it's a Switch 2, they are gonna cut it off with the games at some point, maybe early like we've seen with the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Maybe we would get some games that would be able to work on the older Switch units. Obviously, those are things we'll have to wait on. We'll have to see what happens with all that, but I think you have a great opportunity there to keep the Switch Lite going a little bit further, because we're not gonna get a new Switch. Another reason I really think we should honestly look at a Switch OLED, and it's not just because, hey, they've got an open year, which they do. They've got a full year where they're clearly not gonna be putting out another Switch. A Switch Lite OLED would be perfect, but it sounds like Nintendo is about to tell their investors that they are going to be raising their target number of Switch units that they're gonna be producing and selling. I don't know the details on this. You can look it up. You guys know me. I don't get caught up in the details of these things. I watched some videos on it. I saw some things online, read some things. It looks like they want to put out more Switch units and sell more Switch units this year. Now, that could just be because we've got Tears of the Kingdom coming out. Maybe there's another game coming out we don't know about that they're really banking on selling more Switch units. Or maybe they're about to put out a new Switch that we don't know about. A Switch Lite OLED. That would make sense why they would be telling their investors, yeah, we plan on selling more Switch units this year. Now, there was also an issue with parts. I know that last year they were having issues with parts. It sounds like that's not an issue anymore. So it could just be that. But I would say this, to someone who is looking to buy a Switch Lite in 2023, if you do see that OLED screen and you're like, yeah, I'd like to have one of those, but I still kind of want just the little handheld guy, you might want to wait. You know, this is just an idea. I've been talking about this on the podcast with Jeeb. He agrees that it's coming at some point. He doesn't think it's coming this year. I really do, though. The question is, what do you guys think about this? I want to know, do you think there's going to be a Switch Lite OLED in 2023? Because I'm kind of on that boat. I may be wrong. If I am, I am. I really think, I think this is something we're gonna see very soon. To me, it just makes sense, but let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Make sure you check out those links to the podcast, anything else you find down there. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like. Make sure you are subscribed. See you in the next one.